Alrighty, so Russell T Davies' Doctor Who show has become a total eyesore to watch. So much so that people are checking out, and people are checking out in droves. As the latest ratings for the Doctor Who overnight ratings for the fourth episode, the fifth episode comes out today. But the fourth episode is so bad that it is absolutely abysmal. It has fallen off a cliff, and I'm not just talking about Kilimanjaro here. I'm talking about Mount Everest level type cliff, all the way to the abyss. Ratings: Doctor Who dips to lowest ever for fourth episode, Lucky Day. And this is so bad because last week I done told you guys, when the mainstream media or the access media out there were trying to do a spin that this show actually saw a bump. I told you guys that it was a dead cat bounce when it saw that 300,000 people extra on top of the episode 2 viewing. Well, it has gone back down, as the first episode saw 2 million people, the second episode saw 1.6 million people, then we had the dead cat bounce to the third episode of 1.9 million people, and now we are back down, way down. How low can this thing go? To 1.51 million. So from the first episode to the fourth episode, about 500,000 people, or nearly 500,000 people, have checked out. Nearly 500,000 people have checked out of this show because the show is absolutely abysmal. And a lot of people have had legitimate criticisms for this particular show because the storytelling is bad, the way that they've been acting has been bad, the way that the Doctor has been acting has been out of character. He cries a lot, he's whiny a lot, and the worst part of it is that they're always preachy and trying to lecture us on one thing or the other, on social justice issues that the Doctor should never concern himself about. And where we have been complaining for the longest of times, they've been branding us as either racist or we are bigots, or you're some kind of a conservative that doesn't want to see a strong queer black man. But it's getting so bad that even the biggest advocates for this particular show, the biggest shields for this show, are now starting to complain about the show themselves. Like this one here from Metro saying Doctor Who's moral lecture are becoming harder to justify. And this is coming from Asiya Iftikhar, who is a big Advent supporter of this show. Matter of fact, have been talking about how this show has been owning the church. I mean, just last year she came up with this, saying, sorry straight white man, Doctor Who was never made just for you, and she was complaining a lot about it, talking about how she fell in love with Ncuti Gatwa as soon as she saw Ncuti, but not everyone was excited by such an unapologetic queer black Doctor Who, though a vocal contingent of keyboard warriors took to social media to claim that the show had gone too woke, from arguing the show had been torn apart by woke ideologies, of which they are right, to creating their own social media trend, RIP Doctor Who, of which it has died. You don't need to go too far to find a litany of complaints. So why the hell are you changing tunes now? Because she definitely has changed tunes now, as she's talking about the fourth episode as something that is lecturing that is just way too much for even her at this particular point in time. She says, during Lucky Day, we checked in with the season 1 companion Ruby Sunday with a pungent portrayal of Millie Gibson of her PTSD after traveling on the TARDIS and joining UNIT on her return to Earth. Now, she forms a romantic connection with podcaster Conrad, who reveals his true colors pretty quickly. He's actually a conspiracy theorist who believes UNIT is faking existence of alien life and is determined to take them down, even though when he was a kid and when he grew up, he actually saw actual proof that aliens exist. I don't know why all of a sudden he wants to prove that they don't exist when he saw one himself. He actually had an alien goo on himself, and he also saw the Doctor have an antidote talking to Millie Gibson, Ruby Sunday, or whatever you want to call her, right? He saw all of this, but still, I don't know what his motivations were to want to now prove that the unit, who has been the agency fighting aliens, is actually lying to us and all of that. After the villainous Conrad is apprehended at the end, the Doctor flies in for one more monologue where he berates the former for his harmful behavior, telling him he's special for all the wrong reasons. During the speech, the Doctor, who portrays himself as standing up for the ordinary people, I thought the Doctor was standing up for life across the entire universe, trying to save life. But all of a sudden, the Doctor is now a social justice warrior who stands up for ordinary people. And by ordinary people, I mean non-straight white male people alone. If you're straight white male, you're bad. If you're a non-straight white male, you are good. If you have a disability, you're good. If you're suffering from height or whatever, if you're a little person, you're good. But everybody else is good except for straight white male. That's the only bad people. That's the message we get from the doctor from episode to episode to episode. So she goes on to say, during the speech, Doctor who portrays himself as standing up for the ordinary people, slams Conrad weaponizing lies for taking people's insecurities and fears and making it currency. Essentially, they were trying to attack people like us, people who do podcasts. This is what Russell T. Davies was going after, right? People who do podcasts, that they are liars, that they're peddling lies, and that we are using lies to, exchange for currency and so on and so forth. So who should we be trusting? We should be trusting the mainstream media. But it seems that this preachiness and the way that they're actually doing it is actually getting to these people now, as they are now complaining and saying it's a powerful acted movement from Shuti. It's not, there's nothing powerful against it, my dear. But the content of the speech itself does leave something to be desired. It almost feels like unnecessary repetition, hammering home the point of the episode by directly addressing the viewers rather than conveying the message via action and dialogue. Exactly. He could just simply come in there and say, I'm defending my friend Ruby Sunday, and pour his wrath out for this guy actually messing with his friend's heart or something of that nature. But instead, he has to defend ordinary people, right? This is something that they have been trying to push, defend the ordinary people. But the ordinary people cannot be a straight white male. Absolutely not. And she's not the only person. I mean, the writer of this particular article is not the only person that has picked up on this, as even the Standard also comes up with this. Doctor Who needs to stop lecturing us. Its morality policing is getting hard to swallow. And like I've said before on this particular channel, I told you guys that these people are now making content because what they're trying to do is they're trying to control the narrative. They know the mainstream media can no longer control the narrative, so they are now trying to attack the alternative media. People like yours truly, people like Joe Rogan, people like Nordrodic, people like Russell Brand, and so on and so forth. They're trying to attack them in any way, shape, or form that they can. If you have a lot of following, you will get attacked at some point in time. They failed with Joe Rogan. They're going to fail with Russell Brand as well. They failed with Nordrodic. They failed with all of these people, critical drinkers and co, who are bringing you the truth, whether about the mainstream media or the manipulations that Hollywood is now trying to put out there using movies, like I don't say. So this person actually points it out. And bear in mind, the Standard has always supported this whole woke ideology that they've been pushing. Now, they say the show is veering off course in its desire to thumb its nose at its critics. I love how they call fans critics, right? And not always successfully. So they go on to say it happens again this week. Doctor Who decided to take a break from telling a story to offer up a moral lesson on the state of humanity. The episode Lucky Day was all but wrapped up. The premises was a fun one. Former companion Ruby falls for a guy only to find out he's Joe Rogan, alien, denying fake news type. So you see, like what I done said, they're trying to now discredit us, we the alternative media, who are the people who speak up against the narrative that the mainstream media try to push. Now, the one that stages elaborate pranks to disprove the aliens that exist. But shoehorned into the last 5 minutes of the episode was treated to a spectacle of the Doctor lecturing its villain Conrad on the myriads of evil of those peddling fake news on the internet, or as the Doctor put it, weaponizing lies. Now, he said, you are exhausting, Gatwa proclaimed, as Conrad sneered back. You stamp on the truth. Yawn, as this writer now says, he's like sick and tired of it. He now goes on to say, is it just me, or is Who serving us rather a lot of these quasi lectures these days? During its last episode, we're talking about The Well now. I saw that episode as well. I've seen all the episodes, to be honest. I mean, I'm seeing it so that you don't have to. We encountered the excellent Rose Alice as Alice, and only surviving member of a space base that has been ravaged by a mysterious enemy. While Belinda is treating Alice, she reacted with surprise on discovering that Belinda can't sign. A nurse who can't sign, that's against the law, she says at one point. Then Belinda then responded, says, well, we have different laws. Belinda agrees, but you're right, it should be the law. Now, this is where this guy hits the nail on the head and says, is that Belinda talking, or is the showrunner Russell T. Davies? Exactly, because everything we're seeing is them actually speaking their own heart, their own mind. Instead of actually focusing on the storytelling, they're actually just conveying what they feel. So this whole thing that we see, whether it be Belinda Chandra or the Doctor himself, is all self-insert of Russell T. Davies and Pete Teehee or whatever, who the writer of the latest episode was. Like all of these guys who are writing these episodes, they are all activists at this particular point in time, or they think that they are activists, and what they want to do is they are trying to control the narrative, but they are failing bigly. That's why people are checking checking out. People are sick and tired of it, and people can see through what they're trying to do and see that they are easily trying to push out some evil BS out there. Remember, Russell T. Davies actually said that he was targeting 6 to 36-year-olds, right? He's targeting children. Hence why you can see the doctor have all this weird childish behavior, shaking his ass, going, let's go, let's go, let's go in the episode 3, and so on and so forth, behaving like a child, because those are the people that they are trying to appeal to. And actually, I read some data showing the people that this show is appealing to the most are between the ages of 6 to 16 years old, which is what he's saying. Russell T. Davies himself is saying that the show is a success because it appeals more to them. 89% of children actually like this show. So this is a point of call to let you guys know that what they are trying to do with this show is they are trying to indoctrinate and manipulate the mindsets of kids so that they can have grown-up NPCs, that they can have fight certain causes and vote a certain way to put certain people into power. This is what they are trying to do, and I'm glad that they are failing, and they are failing bigly, because ultimately the evil that they are portraying out there, pretending that they are doing good, always fails, essentially because good always triumph over evil. In any case, you guys, let me know what you think about this whole thing in the comment section below. I want to thank you guys for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, feel free to like, share, comment, subscribe, ding that bell for notification, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care, peace, and Saya's out. Bye bye now.